5. Pattern number 5. What's the time? Lady, you told me the time before. 11:40, thank you, perfect time. So, number 5, this is a big one. Looking for evidence of the problem rather than evidence of the solution. Looking for evidence that the problem still exists rather than looking for solution that it's been healed, that it's gone, that it no longer is pertinent in their life. Here's an example. 2 twin boys, they're both called John. John 1, John number 2. They're both 12. They go to the doctors. They have chicken pox. They walk into the doctors. They've both got 100 spots on their face. This is a very anal, very specific doctor. He's counting the spots on their face. They come in and their mum is like, oh, I've got all these spots. Can you give them some ointment, some medication to help clear this up? Gives them the medication. They're going to come back for a checkup in 2 weeks. They come back 2 weeks later. John number 1 comes in. It didn't work, I've still got spots. 99 of these spots are now gone. 1 still persists. He's focusing on the one that persists. And that 1 out of 100 that still persists represents to him 100% of the problem not being healed. Looking for evidence of the problem still there. Versus John number 2, his twin brother. The only difference is he was born 7 minutes later. He comes in. That's right. He had 100 spots, John number 2 we're talking about. He now has 99. 1 spot is gone. And he's like, oh, wow, it's amazing. Yeah, the ointment, the cream you gave me worked really, really well. It's going great. He's still got 99 spots, but 1 disappeared. Looking for facts of the solution that something shifted versus not everything's perfect right now. So oftentimes I'll get a client and I'll say, Luke, I'm doing cocaine. This is my client, not me. I'm straight edge. But they'll come in and they'll say, Luke, I spend 10 grand a month on cocaine. I want to quit it. Okay. We do all the work. They'll work with me, let's say 3 sessions, whatever. And now, at the end, instead of doing coke every night, instead of dropping, 2.5 grand a week, 10 grand a month, well, it's that 120 grand a year. Session number 3, they're still doing coke, but now they only spend $250 on versus 10 grand a month. They're still doing it, but they've gone from however much of this crap they were digesting over here to a small amount. Were they successful or did they fail? Well, it's up to their mindset, right? It's like the boys with the spots. 99 went, but 1 exists. It failed. It didn't work. Perfectionist mindset. Versus the boy that only 1 disappeared. He's like he focuses in on the success. Oh my God, 1 disappeared. This stuff really works well. In 100 weeks, they'll all be gone. That's right. Very good. So who's right? Well, it depends on how they're focusing on the problem. But one little sneaky thing I do with my clients before they leave my office is I say, hey, just before you leave, what I want you to do over the next week is I just want you to focus on difference. They're like, what? Because difference is opposite to their problem, right? Most people are going to be here. They are going to look for, you know what, even though I had 100 pounds to lose, I lost 95. I failed. They're focusing on the 5 pounds versus the 95 pounds they lost. This is going to mess them up and eventually probably lead them to gaining even more weight, all right? It's the perfectionist mindset gets linked into this one, focusing on the problem versus focus on the solution, focusing on evidence that the problem still exists versus focusing on evidence that the solution still exists, right? So it's the perfection mindset. Now, nobody's perfect, even though my mum would say otherwise. No one's perfect. So if they come in with the black and white thinking, oftentimes these clients are identified because they have black or white thinking. It's very digital. It's either all or nothing. It's either black, it's white. It's either good or it's bad. Guess what? A lot of times it's analogical. A lot of times it's analog. It's right in the middle. So if they focus on, Luke, you know what? I was having a panic attack 3 times a day, every day when we started. So what's that? That's 21 a week, right? And now, I have 1 panic attack every 2 weeks. But did they fail or were they successful? Because this one over here was having, 21 a week? So in 2 weeks, that's 42. Now they're having 1. So just Were they successful or they were failure? It depends on if they're focusing on what changed, the difference, versus the problem. So I always tell my clients before they leave, as a last suggestion before they leave the office, over the next week, I just want you to notice difference. It might be small difference, it might be medium difference, it might be big difference, but focus on difference. Why do I give them that suggestion with their eyes open at the end? Because I know they're still very, very suggestible at that point, but also want to start to direct their mind to start being like the boy with one less spot versus the boy with 99 less spots. Because if they focus on the problem, did I get better, did I get better, did I get better? They're always in the problem. This is when they don't want to be in the problem when they're out of the office. Versus difference. Well, what was different today? Well, I got that same stimulus, so when that pretty girl looked at me and I started to get flush and red in my face, oh yeah, but then I was able to say hi. Oh, that was different. I'm going to make a note of that. Now they have a reference point inside their head for their unconscious, their subconscious, their monkey mind. Oh, you know what? Instead of binging and overeating every night, what was different? Oh, I only binged 3 times. Oh, so it was different. Now, people's tendency is, yeah, but it's not perfect yet. I'm not perfect. Like I said, even I'm not perfect. Even though my mum would say different. So, you've got to get them out of that perfection mindset because it's a game they can't win. If they're playing the game of perfection, it's a game they can't win, right? So you've got to break that paradigm down and get them to focus what was different. Well, look, I came in. So when clients first come in for a second session, right, I'll say to them, hey, was your problem, over the last week, are you better? Are you the same? Or are you worse? Is your problem, your presenting issue, whatever it is it better? Is it the same? Or is it worse? It can only be 3 answers. If it's better, fantastic. If it's worse, great, movement. The problem becomes when they say, nothing changed. Because you know, well, I know they're lying. Something changed. You cannot change. There's one thing I know for sure in life, and a law of the universe is we cannot not change. So when they see, if you just sat there in your seats, and 2 weeks from now we checked in with you, you might think, well, nothing changed. Well, you're 2 weeks older. There's literally billions of cells that would have come into your body and died. Thought patterns would have changed. Neurological pathways, muscles atrophying. You cannot not change. It's the one consistent. So when clients tell me nothing changed, I know they're lying. Or, more akin, they're being a perfectionist and they're focusing, oh, they're forgetting, you know what, 99 spots gone. They're focusing on, it's not perfect yet. So by asking them what was different, it starts to train their RAS, their reticular activating system, the pattern reacting software in our brain to start looking for change. Ladies in the audience, not to be sexist, guys can do this as well. You might have this particular fetish as well. Have you ever bought like some really cool shoes, some really sexy shoes, some really wonderful shoes? You're like, oh, these shoes are amazing, I love them. I've never seen anyone else wear them. Get these shoes, you put them on, you leave the house and you see another woman with the same shoes. These unique shoes to you, or that unique handbag, or that unique car. Then suddenly, you see 2 people when you're walking to work with the same car, the same shoes, the same handbag. Did they just get it because I got it? Are they copying me? Oh, I thought I was special. No, they already had the shoes. They already had the car. They already had the handbag. You just didn't notice before because you weren't looking for it. Your RAS, your reticular activating system of your brain, starts to look. Because I've got these shoes, you start to notice if other women are wearing the shoes. Guys, women, whatever, the car, you've got a new car. Other people got the same car, the same bag, whatever that particular thing is. So you want to start to train their brain to start to look for difference, because the more difference they notice, even if it might be really, really small, they start to get more and more and more. So you're literally doing the neurological process of what they would say in neuroscience as pruning, right? The old pathway in the brain is the problem pathway. I've got this particular problem versus pruning. You do the healing work, whatever, they sleep. And eventually that old neurological pathway of the problem gets switched off in time, and that new pathway is open to change.